The 9-3 Los Angeles Rams heading over to take on the 3-9 Arizona Cardinals. Not a far trip for the Rams, but a road trip nonetheless. This game kicks off at 1:25 p.m. Pacific time from State Farm Stadium on Fox. Fox does have the doubleheader, and the area, I'll be honest, not very big. Rams will be in the blue zones here, and Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma, Megan O'Leary will be on the call, but not a large area. In fact, that larger area that you're seeing there on your screen, that red, is going to be the Packers and the Bears. So obviously we are keeping our eyes very much glued to that TV screen because it definitely impacts us quite a bit. Those are two teams that either of those teams could be seen in the playoffs. So we could be playing either of them for sure. Didn't get the Packers in the regular season, obviously, this year, or the Bears, but who was our... Oh, yeah, it was the Eagles, obviously. We know that. Or that's not even the right division. What am I talking about? It was... Oh, it was Detroit. It's in a couple weeks, week 16 in Los Angeles. Or is that next week? It's next week in Los Angeles, week 15. We'll get there. We'll get there. For you bettors out there, Rams are -8.5, -450 on the money line. 48.5 is your over-under. That means the books have this game sitting roughly 20-30, maybe a little bit under that is kind of what they're ballparking, but they do have the Rams winning this game. Let's get into our pants picks here. We have the final game in the white jerseys of the regular season. And, of course, being on the road in Arizona for this one, this is going to be a clean sweep for the Royal Madness out here. Everybody going Royal Pants for our pants picks, the game that is sweeping the nation. I don't know why you don't play it. Your mom does, and she loves it. It's a good time for everybody. It's family-friendly. All you got to do is pick some pants. Pants picks? Pretty self-explanatory, I'll be completely honest with you. If you don't get it by now, I don't know what to tell you. But, yeah, white jerseys, our final game in the white jerseys this season. So it's just Royal and then that one bone game in Atlanta. And we'll see if we even have any road games in the playoffs. This might be our last time in white until next year. Who knows, dude? Who knows? Take a look at the history of this matchup. This is the 95th all-time meeting between these two. The Rams do lead the all-time series 51-41-2. Rams did win the most recent matchup December 28th, 2024. That was a 13-9 win for the Rams. Last time in Arizona against the Cardinals, the Rams did lose 41-10. That was early season last year in Arizona. One of those games where it's like, what is going on here, dude? Pretty rough stuff, but turned it around. Obviously got that win in Los Angeles late December. First ever game between these two came on October 3rd of 1937. Chicago defeated Cleveland 6-0. That makes sense if you think about it hard enough. Rams have won 3 of the last 4 against the Cardinals and 14 of the last 17, which are the games that Sean McVay has been the Rams head coach. So he is 14-3 against the Cardinals all time. I know that's an uneven number. That does include the playoff game that the Rams played against the Cardinals, the 21 season. So, big old game there. Big old football game. So, stuff that we're looking for in this one, obviously, for the Rams. This is the first time for the Rams at SoFi Stadium since the playoff game last year against the Minnesota Vikings. So, this is, Arizona's home, but it's a little bit our home too, I think. In fairness, we've hosted a playoff game there more recently than they have. So, I think that makes it our home. And I was going into this season and basically all offseason of like, I'm not going to make fun of the Cardinals because they let us use their stadium. They had to. I mean, it was the contingency plan. It would have been, if the Houston playoff game needed to relocate, it would have been Arizona also. That's neither here nor there. They weren't like, hey, come here. It's like, it's a whole plan. They have stadiums designed to do this kind of thing in the event. You know what I mean? So, obviously, we've played there pretty recently as a home game, but hey, that's our home. But either way, I said that's where I was going with that. As I said, I wasn't going to make fun of them, the Cardinals, that is. I feel like enough time has passed. Not that I'm like here just to like rip jokes about the Arizona Cardinals or anything like that. They just got eliminated from the playoffs. I mean, I don't need to joke about them. You know what I mean? Their season did that for them. You know what I mean? For me, I didn't need to do it because their play on the field, I think, is all the humor that any of us need. But either way, I think we're back around. We can make fun of them again. I say it, so you have my permission. The Rams come in this game is off of what I can comfortably say is their worst performance of the season in Carolina. Divisional road game after that performance is kind of the perfect chance to see if the Panthers maybe figure something out or if the Rams just had one of those days. I tend to think the latter myself. But it's really just, are the Rams done? Are we done? Are we cooked? Are we spent? Or is this just one of those things where we just had a bad day, we'll bounce back, beat the Cardinals by 45 points, I don't know. We'll kind of see. But 2 interceptions for Stafford. It does not take him out of the MVP race in any capacity. A big bounce back, though, would go a long way. Drake May does have the best odds, according to certain sports books, over Matthew Stafford, but they're very, very close. And it does seem like a bit of a two-man race at this point between Drake May and Matthew Stafford. Rams lost in Arizona to the Cardinals last season, 41-10. We talked about that. If that were going to happen this year, man, I don't know. If we had a repeat performance like that off of the game where we lost to the Carolina Panthers, first of all, this fan base would fully implode, and it would be very odd to do a show to nobody because I don't know if anybody would even be around. It'd be me and Edwin. That's I guess Gary would be around. GP Shadow would still be. There's still plenty of people that would be around for sure. But either way, that would be tough, man. I know a lot of people that would completely, their heads would explode for sure. But the Rams only had 1 penalty last week for 5 total yards, keeping them first in penalties. That's by a margin of 13 penalties that the Rams have the fewest by. So doing very, very well there. And then also, Rams are tied for 5th most penalties against. And I don't know what to do with that information, that we don't get penalties ourselves, but we cause a lot of other people to get a bunch of them. I don't know how to translate that information into something useful yet, but now you also know it. We don't get penalized. They do a lot. I don't know, man. I don't know. On the other side here, the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray does remain on IR. He does not get his practice window opened per head coach Gannon, but I'm not sure if there is much desire to try to get Kyler Murray back and rolling again. Obviously, like I mentioned, the Cardinals are eliminated from the playoffs, and Jacoby Brissett just kind of doing his thing right now. I'm really just not sure what the Arizona Cardinals are doing. We are in a situation where we could be seeing the last few games where Kyler Murray is even on that roster. I'm not sure what the plan would be post Kyler for the Arizona Cardinals, but mainly also on the kind of the flip side of that is I don't know what Kyler's plan would be. I don't think he's too old to go play baseball, and I think that he was always the better baseball player, but you get these really big contracts in the NFL, which he did hit, so, I mean, his plan did work, but I think that the baseball path is always something that has been still an option, I would say. Not to say that I think he's going to go play baseball, but I just don't think that that's completely off the table for Kyler Murray, especially if no teams are really calling, or if the teams that are calling are requesting or suggesting that he would be a bench player or a backup QB2, QB3 kind of guy. Do I think that that's where his talent level belongs? Yeah, I kind of do, actually. He's super fast and stuff like that and has a good arm, but that's not enough to get you through the NFL. You have to have so much more than that. You have to have that winning mentality, and I just don't think he does. Yeah, and then, of course, eliminated from postseason contention last week. So, milestones, some things that we're keeping our eyes on or have seen recently. For Sean McVay, Sean McVay has now officially coached in the most regular season games of any Rams head coach. He is the longest tenured head coach in Rams history, which is rather exciting. He did have the record over Robinson by 3 games. This was a while back, but that was including postseason. He's coached in 13 postseason games, as Robinson did 10. So it's evened out now as far as regular season, and Sean McVay has now coached in more regular season games than any other Rams coach in history. And also, like I said, he also has the record for most postseason games as a Rams head coach. Longest tenured. Yeah, we've never seen anybody coach as many games. It's awesome. and for him to be the best one, that's pretty cool. This could have been Jeff Fisher, dude. Could have been Jeff Fisher. Matthew Stafford has 3,073 passing yards entering Week 14. That would be 24th most in Rams history if he does not get another yard. He is currently 17th in yards per game in Rams history. 32 touchdown passes would be tied for 4th most in Rams history in a single season. Stafford does need 9 to tie the Rams' single season record. That is with himself as well as Kurt Warner. And Jared Goff, 2018, had 32 touchdown passes. That's how many Stafford has right now. And he did that with 12 interceptions. Stafford right now, of course, with 4, coming off of a game where he had 2. So, in fairness, that ratio did get a bit of a dent, but still looking pretty good. 2001, Kurt Warner is in third place in touchdown passes in a single season with 36. That included 22 interceptions. In 1999, Kurt Warner and 2021, Matthew Stafford threw for 41 touchdowns. That was with 13 and 17 interceptions, respectively. Matthew Stafford's 1% interception percentage is second in Rams history with at least 100 pass attempts. Can you guess number 1? I'll give you a second, man. Think about it. Who do you think has a lower interception percentage with at least 100 passes than Matthew Stafford in Rams history? If you said 2015 Case Keenum, you're correct. 0.8% for Case Keenum in 2015. That's pretty cool stuff. He had about 124 passes, I believe, somewhere around there. And Matthew Stafford did reach 8th most passing yards in NFL history, passing Matt Ryan. He needs 558 yards to pass Phillip Rivers, or to tie Phillip Rivers in 7th, and he is currently 1,206, 1,206 behind Big Ben in 6th, which would mean he would need to average 242 yards per game for the rest of the season. Last week in Carolina, he did have 243, so he is on pace for that right now. Kyren Williams, he is 132 rushing yards short of 1,000 on the season. Right now, he would be 42nd in Rams history for a single season. Puka Nacua hit 1,000 receiving yards last week. Rather exciting stuff. Puka Nacua, he's absolutely insane. 86 receptions would be tied for 18th most in a single season in Rams history. Davante Adams, we are officially on Rams record watch when it comes to Davante Adams, as his 14 touchdown receptions is 3rd most in a single season in Rams history. 2021, Cooper Kupp had 16, and 1951, Elroy Hirsch had 17. Rams play 5 more games, so Davante Adams has 5 more chances to get 3 touchdowns, and he gets at least 1 a week, it seems. He's got his court-mandated receiving touchdown from the 1-yard line every week, so we should be able to see this record be beaten, which is rather exciting. He's just 2 behind the superhero Cooper Kupp season, which is crazy. Davante Adams, man, touchdown machine. He needs 15 receptions to tie Isaac Bruce for 15th most in NFL history. He needs 188 receiving yards to tie Art Monk for 15th most in NFL history. And he does need 4 receiving touchdowns to tie Larry Fitzgerald for 6th most in NFL history. Fitzgerald played in 5 more seasons than Adams is currently at. So obviously he's absolutely killing it. Davante Adams has 5 years to get 4 receiving touchdowns to tie the window that is Larry Fitzgerald. And of course, last week he did pass Antonio Gates for most receiving touchdowns all time. So he's alone in 7th. He did tie it and then beat it all in one game. And Antonio Gates, I mean, obviously we know his story of the Chargers, the San Diego Chargers. He was absolutely crazy. I did get to see. It's gone now. The record's gone. It actually just got beat a few weeks ago, but it was by Keenan Allen. But it was, I don't even remember the year, man. I went with my dad. He's a Chargers fan. I live in Colorado, so it was Chargers at Broncos Thursday Night Football, where Antonio Gates became the Chargers' all-time leading receiver for yards, which was rather exciting. We got to see it. It was a deep ball. Yeah, it was pretty fun. The Broncos Stadium didn't acknowledge it at all, but we knew what happened. That's all that matters. And there is no former Rams that are currently on the Cardinals. Maybe that's why they've been eliminated already. I don't know, man. I don't know. Take a look at the matchup on this one. We'll start with the Rams offense going against that Cardinals defense. The Rams on offense are a top 8 unit, putting up about 370 a game. Cardinals defense, 20th in the league, about 346 a game. Passing the football, top 4 unit for the Rams, putting up 246.5, while the Cardinals giving up just under 220 a game. That's 21st in the NFL. Rushing the ball, 19th ranked unit for the Rams offense, 113.5, while the Cardinals give up 112.5. That's about 16th. Average points being put up a little under 28 for the Rams. That's 6th in the NFL, while the Cardinals give up a little over 25. That's 24th in the NFL. And on third down, 38.9% for the Rams, and that is 18th in the league, and 15th ranked unit for the Cardinals. They give up 37.8. So pretty in line there as far as the percentage goes. But, I mean, you're looking at a third-year defensive coordinator, Nick Rallis for Arizona. The Cardinals also, the reason I mentioned that was because they did really improve on the defensive side over just the whole, more than second half of the season. 11 games, over the last 11 games of the season last year, they were giving up under 20 a game. So over the course of the year, the defense did, I think, start to play better, and they do have some really good playmakers for their defense, but it just seems like the energy is not there. You know what I mean? It probably has a lot to do with the way that offense operates. But either way, that was fourth in points allowed for the final 11 games last year, and I think that their defense is they're playing fine this year. Nothing super that jumps out to you, like 24th in points being given up, 20th in total yards, 21st against the pass, 16th against the run. Nothing super flashy, but they do a decent job. For the Rams, they're tied for third fewest interceptions thrown on offense. The touchdown percentage is currently at 8. That is best in the NFL by quite a margin. Detroit is at 6.8% touchdown percentage. That would mean the Lions would need to throw 6 straight touchdowns without any incompletions to reach that same level with the Rams. The Rams also tied for 7th fewest fumbles on the season. Do with that information what you will. I just feel like everybody's talking about how much we fumble. We are 7th fewest in the league right now. Opposing players we are keeping our eyes on. We're going to start with, of course, outside linebacker Josh Sweat. That shouldn't come as a surprise to you. This kid is absolutely awesome. He's a very strong pass rusher. He does lead the team in sacks by a margin with 11. He does lead the team in TFLs by a margin as well with 12. And 16 quarterback hits. He can certainly still get it done. You can certainly still get after your quarterback. So definitely somebody to watch out for. Next up, we'll go with cornerback Denzel Burke. 2 picks on the year, 7 passes knocked down. Has 5 starts on the season in a secondary that's dealt with a lot of injuries, but playing good football, man. He's a good player. Defensive lineman Calais Campbell, the old guy, man. He still gets it done. It's crazy to me that Calais Campbell's still playing. I feel like he was like with the Chicago Cardinals at this point, man. I feel like this guy's been around forever. It's going to be weird to see an NFL without Calais Campbell. I don't understand it, but he's a leader, man, and he can still get it done for sure. Best one-on-one I've gotten this one is going to be Josh Sweat versus those Rams tackles. Jackson and McClendon certainly have a tough task of holding back the guy who can certainly damage your game plan. Josh Sweat can impact your offense and make you and throw you off and try to get you out of your original game plan. So big task for those tackles, Jackson and McClendon. AJ and Warren out here, man, getting it done out there for the tackle spot this week. Got to keep Stafford upright, man. I think that there was a decent amount of pressure last week, or at least an impactful amount of pressure last week. Obviously, we had the fumble from Stafford, and then just some decisions that felt a little quicker than he has in the past. So keeping number 9 upright is going to be, of course, critical. And speaking of, we're getting into our 3 to see, we're going to start with quarterback Matthew Stafford. How does Stafford rebound after last week? He had the interception where, sure, it bounces off of the helmet and stuff like that, but it was a really weird, awkwardly looking play. We can say what we want about it being tipped, but I don't think the ball should have been thrown. So I think that, a lot of people say, like, well, does that really count as his interception? Well, yeah, it came out of his hands. So that's how I always feel about it. But either way, the other one was the worst one, of course, the pick 6, where it just it was one of those balls where you're like, dang, dude. Like, it's been a while since we've seen Stafford butcher one like that. And the timing of it, obviously, everything was just not good times for anybody. And to lose a game where you throw a pick 6 and you only lose a game by 3, that's quite annoying. For sure. But how he responds to that last week, I think is going to be absolutely huge. Is he going to come in and just throw, 5 touchdowns to no picks and just look absolutely incredible? Or is he going to have a couple of throws where you're like, dude, what is wrong with Matthew? So we'll see how that happens. But I trust that Stafford's going to be able to turn it around. Next up, we'll go with wide receiver Davante Adams. He is on a crazy TD streak right now. And will need to be again this week. It's a division game in a situation where the Rams are trying to settle in on their playoff seeding, trying to obviously get a bye week, which would be rather fun, especially when you're dealing with the veterans that the Rams are and Matthew Stafford's like that, to give that cannon a week off, what I think would be only beneficial. But Davante Adams in another situation, going against a good defense, I mean, statistically speaking, they're they're okay, but it's a division game, and that's such a wild card situation. And you look at the two games last year between the Rams and the Cardinals, you had a blowout by 31 points that we lost in Arizona, and then a 4-point win later in the year. So the disparity there, 27 points the Cardinals outscored the Rams last year. So obviously to kind of settle that in and just get a good enough cushion there where, you're not stressing out at the end of the game, like if they score, we lose kind of thing. Get that cushion where it's like, well, if they score, we're still going to win by 17, so who cares? You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the situation I'm looking for. And if that happens, I imagine that Devontae has at least one, And last year on the 3 to see, we're going to go with Blake Corum. He's had some very explosive runs. He is looking very, very good. He's getting plenty of carries. There seems to be a fairly even split between him and Kyren Williams right now. Seems to be a little bit of a two-headed monster. And Blake seems to be the one that can hit the hole and go and break off a 15-yard, 20-yard run just at any given moment. Where Kyren is more of the, you need 5 yards, let's give it to Kyren. But if we're 1st and 10 at our own 30, might as well get Blake, man. He might get us to the other side of the field. So it's good stuff there. Blake Corum, though, he's playing some really good football. As far as the Rams offense, Cardinals defense, the keys here I've got are time of possession. That's a big one right now. The Rams have been fairly smoked in time of possession the last 3 or so games. And they've struggled in that department, but it's been fine. This time it haunted us. Third quarter especially, not being able to get off the field, not be able to keep the offense, working its way down. That definitely impacted the way that game happened yesterday or this last week. So obviously just win time of possession if you can, so we don't get into those situations where offense touches the field and it feels like we're behind now. Had 3 plays, and then they had a long drive, and it was just like, hey, we just need to get rolling here. So hopefully we can avoid that. Again, limit mistakes. Had an early pick 6. Will certainly cause you concern for the rest of the game. Everybody's going to be a little bit more. It's going to be on everybody's mind the rest of the game. Your play caller, it's on their mind. It's on your receivers' minds. It's on everybody's mind the rest of the game that, like, hey, we cannot let that happen again. And so just limit your mistakes. We can't have any of those throws from Stafford where it's like, dude, what are you doing? And then, of course, the running backs, everybody's been doing a really good job holding on to the football. So just want to see that continue. And then just make sure that Sweat doesn't wreck your game plan. Go put up some points. Don't let Sweat kill your game. Go put up some points. It feels like it can be that easy. Although I understand it's not. So over to the other side here. This is the Rams defense going against that Cards offense. So the Cardinals on offense do have a top 10 unit here, putting up about 363 a game. Rams defense, 14th in the league, giving up about 334 a game. Passing the football, top 8 squad for the Cardinals, putting up about 237-ish. The Rams giving up about 207 a game. That's 14th in the league. Rushing the ball, a little over 100 for the Cardinals offense. That's 24th in the league. And the Rams give up about 108 a game, 14th again. Average points being put up a little over 22 for the Cardinals offense. That's 20th, and the Rams give up 17.5. That is back to second place. And third down conversion rate, 42.9, solid percentage from that Cardinals offense. That's 7th in the league. Rams give up 36.4. That is 8th in the NFL, though. So obviously the numbers that you're looking at there, the ones that jump out to you the most, are going to be where the Rams statistically kind of sit fairly middle of the road in yards given up. But then you look at the points and the third down, you're looking at top 10 unit. Obviously the points, 31 given up total. Of course, that some of those were defensive, but pushing the Rams average to 17.5 there. We were number 1 last week, and it's not far from getting back to number 1. Another big performance, another 7-point game should get you there. I'll be completely honest. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But then the Cardinals, they can move the ball. They're moving it on offense. They're moving it through the air mainly. They don't even really try to run it. If you look at their numbers, they're like, as far as rush attempts, they're near the bottom of the league. They don't even really try to run it. And as far as efficiency when running the football, about where the Rams sit on offense, as far as like Kyren and Blake, our efficiency in the run game is about in line with the Cardinals' efficiency. They just do it a lot less than we do. All right. The Cardinals, they have the most pass attempts in the NFL. They're 8th in yards, and they have the 5th fewest rush attempts in the NFL. And the Cardinals offense has given up the fourth most sacks in the league with 42 on the year. For reference, the Rams have given up 17. So you can certainly get to the backfield, get to the quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals, no matter who it happens to be. It does suck that Kyler's not the one, because I feel like Kyler, you break through the line, you get a free runner, and he's just falling down anyway. Jacoby Brissett at least tries to make some more happen, so you still get there, though. Rams defense, 6th in yards per play on defense, which is absolutely awesome. That's way up there. Obviously, we know 14th total, but 6th in yards per play. That's where you want to be for sure. The Rams defense is tied for 3rd in turnovers and tied for 3rd with most interceptions as well. And the Rams have given up the fewest rushing touchdowns in the league. Only 4 rushing touchdowns given up by the Rams defense all year long. The next below them would be 2nd place, New England Patriots with 5, which starting to feel like the Super Bowl matchup, to be honest here, man. We'll see, but starting to feel like that may happen. The Rams defense has floated a little bit more blitz over the last few weeks as well. Not as much last week, but the game before that, I'm already forgetting who he played. Oh, my brain. I'm too forward thinking, you know. But the game before that definitely saw some more blitzing. Why can't I think of who we played? That's annoying. All right. Either way. But definitely have increased the blitzing a little bit, because also I would say the Rams are not getting as many pressures anymore. They started the year 4-man rush, and you're getting there, but that's kind of dwindled down over the course of the year. So I think that's why the blitz percentage is coming up, trying to get in the face of them quarterbacks here. Opposing players we're keeping our eyes on. Tight end Trey McBride, clear-cut top target for the Cardinals offense, despite Marvin Harrison Jr. being on the roster. I'm not sure if they have game plan issues trying to get Marvin Harrison the football. He's a good player, but Trey McBride just seems to be more involved in the offense. Next up here, we'll go with quarterback Jacoby Brissett. Does have better numbers on average than Kyler Murray. So if you just take averages per game, Jacoby Brissett is the better quarterback, statistically speaking. So that's another reason why I'm not sure if the Cardinals are going to try to just move off of Kyler Murray. And honestly, from the Cardinals' perspective, if I was them, I would say it's probably about time, you know? Like, get rid of that big old cap hit for a team that's not making the playoffs. Why would you pay a quarterback for a team that's not making the playoffs? Like, you got to build that thing out, man. Like, you got other things to pay. Like, that's how I'm kind of viewing it. If I was a Cardinals fan, which I certainly am not. As a Rams fan, I just hope the Cardinals keep doing what they've been doing for years, because this is awesome. Just take out one of our division opponents every year? Yeah. Give me that all day. And next up here, we'll go with running back Zonovan Knight. He does lead the Cardinals in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns. Solid player. Again, they don't really run the football that much. They don't even really try to run the football that much. But when they do, Zonovan Knight, he's an active player. Like, he's productive, man. So definitely eyes on him when and you don't want to be the team that they have 5th fewest rush attempts, and then all of a sudden they pull out 35 rush attempts on us this week for like 250 yards. You don't want to be that team, that's for sure. Best one-on-one I've got for this matchup, I've got Cam Kinchins versus Trey McBride. With Q Lake being out, obviously these matchups, they're a little bit different now. Q Lake being able to be that guy who can play nickel, he can play that box linebacker, the box safety, he can play deep, like he could just do so many different things. Obviously missing that against a guy like Trey McBride, this is where you'd want him. But so Cam Kinchins, I mean, he's playing really, really good. He's tackling well. Both of our safeties are tackling really well right now, but it's a tough task, man. Trey McBride, he's playing really good football this year and is the target for that offense for sure. So 3 to see on the Rams defensive side. I'm going to start with Jared Verse here. I feel comfortable saying that heading into Week 14, the Jared Verse is taking a step back from last year. I've been waiting for like a good enough sample size where I can say like, okay, yeah, he is. Like he was more insane last year. And he is still doing a good job, but I do think that there is a little bit of a step back this year, and I'm not sure if that's coming from the opponents and focusing on Jared Verse, or if maybe there was a little bit of confidence that was built, and now it's the production level is different. I'm not really sure, but I can comfortably say that Jared Verse's production and productivity is down this year from last year, especially about the same time. This time last year, Jared Verse, we were talking about him of like, he's not just rookie of the year, he should be talked about for defensive player of the year. Be that as it may, I know that there was some very good players last year. But either way, Jared Verse, I do feel like would benefit from settling in just a little bit. And I don't even know what that really means, whatever that means to him specifically. But it does feel like the production is down. It feels like a guy who can have an explosive day at any given moment. Anytime he can absolutely light it up. In any given play, he can destroy your soul. But it's not happening as much as it was last year. That's kind of my point. Does seem to be taken out of plays when the offense wants him to be taken out of plays. That seems like that's something that you're able to do. It's not something that you were able to do against an Aaron Donald. I know that the Niners did a good job of kind of limiting his production and stuff like that, but it seems like a lot of teams are able to take out Verse when they want to. He does lose contain a lot. He's not bending around the edge. So I don't know. Definitely an area to focus on. And I'm not trying to bash Jared Verse. He's still one of my favorite Rams on this roster. He's an athletic freak. He is a maniac. And I don't know. There's something there. And I'm not sure what's going on yet. But right now, I do feel like Byron Young's the better player. Emmanuel Forbes Jr. Forbes gave up a few big plays last week. We can certainly say that last week was his biggest struggle game as a Ram, I would say. I feel comfortable with that. But how Forbes rebounds from that in a game against a division opponent, against Marvin Harrison Jr., who has historically, I mean, short history because he's still young, but historically speaking, has done really well against the Rams. So this is actually quite the task for Emmanuel Forbes Jr., and I think that this is going to be one of those games where it's like similar to Stafford, where he's been playing so well all year, had a bad day, and now everyone's out on him. I just don't think that that's the case. I feel like he's going to come into this game and look like a different player than he did last week. I don't know what that was last week. I feel like those weren't the Rams. That was like somebody put on our uniforms and went out there. You know what I mean? Kind of like what it felt like. It was like, we're better than this. What's going on here? But that kind of happens. But either way, Forbes going against Marvin Harrison Jr. this week, I think that's a pretty tough task. Like I said, Harrison has done a good job against the Rams, historically speaking. And then next up here, I'm going to go with Braden Fisk. Fisky business, man. Fisk was able to get a sack last week. He got really close on at least one more. One where Bryce Young was able to just kind of sneak out of there. But he also did lead the game in quarterback hits. And Fisk has just been really settling into his rhythm, man. It feels like as the year has gone on, Fisk is just playing a little bit more productive every single week. Just half a step better every single week. And by the end of the year, I mean, that's all you can really ask for from any player is just get this much better every single week. And then by the time you're in the playoffs, everybody should be looking sick, right? It's kind of where your brain goes. But either way, Fisk is looking really, really good right now. He's getting some really strong pass rush. So Fisky business. Good stuff. And key for the Rams defense here. I'm just going to say get off the field. Get off the field. All right. So the Rams have been awesome on third down. Did well last week even. 7 of 15 for the Panthers on third down. I know everybody kind of feels like we did such a terrible job in so many different phases. And it was our worst game, but I think that the overreaction is kind of what I'm alluding to here. Did fine on third down, could do better. I need to just be able to get off the field. That third quarter saw the Panthers really control the game, and that's really where the pressure felt like it was on the Rams. After that third quarter, going into the fourth was like, okay, we did not expect this game to be close. Not only is it close, but they're playing really, really good right now. And also, like, bombing us on fourth downs and stuff. Like, their game plan for that was just too perfect. For whatever the Rams were expecting, they shifted everything around. And, I mean, honestly, last week, and I don't want to make this about last week entirely, but honestly, last week, too, I mean, shout out Ejiro Evero, man. His game plan going into that game was absolutely pinnacle. I think that if we had to play him again, I feel like the Rams would smoke him. I'll be completely honest. I feel like the Rams would go into that with a totally different mindset and an understanding of, okay, who is this team? Because Carolina Panthers are not a team we play regularly. That is not a team that we see often. That defense, I know Evero, he's there, but he's been around the league. It's not our guy anymore. You know what I mean? It's not like he was just here last year and he's like, we know all of his inner workings and stuff like that. He's gained some other knowledge over the years and stuff. And he also knows us. He was able to look at the Rams scheme and just say like, okay, this is what they're going to want to do. This is what we need to do to counter it. And they did a good job. So either way, I think that kind of ties into this game as well of the Carolina Panthers and Arizona Cardinals are both not incredible teams. I think the Panthers are better. But either way, I think that the Rams just need to do a better job at controlling this game. It's really felt like that's where last week got away from the Rams, was just out of control of the game. It seemed like we were very reactionary instead of making them respond to what we were doing. We were, the whole day, the Rams were responding to them. So don't let the Arizona Cardinals and Gannon do that to you. Just be able to get this one in. And then also, I just think that the settling in this game specifically, coming out of this one with a big win, with a big division win, and if that can be by a margin, cool. If not, cool. Dubs are dubs. You win by 1 point or 100, they only give you one win onto your record, so it doesn't matter to me. But I think coming out of this one with a win would settle everybody down a little bit. And I'm talking in the building. Fans can lose their minds all you want to. That's cool. I'm not going to ever tell you how to be a fan. That's insane business. All right. What I will say is probably just relax, though. It's going to be okay. Not going to tell you have to. I'm saying feels like an overreaction. We're probably going to be all right. Probably going to be all right. This Sunday, 1:25 p.m. kickoff time on Fox Albert, or Kenny Albert. Then, oh man, why did I forget the name already? Who's with Kenny Albert? Jonathan Vilma. Gosh, I was trying to say Mark Sanchez. Like, he is not there anymore. And he wasn't Kenny Albert's partner. So either way, Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma, Megan O'Leary on Fox 125, kicking off from State Farm Stadium. First time in that building since beating the Vikings in the playoffs last year. Crazy stuff, man. And be sure to catch us First and Tuna podcast YouTube channel and Ram Showcase Facebook page for Tuna and the Sheriff Thursday and Friday morning this week, as we'll be getting into this game preview and then into the playoffs, which is rather exciting.